morning, everyone, and welcome to the third installation of the Explore Digital webinar series. My name is Joyesh, and I would like to wish all of you a good morning and warm welcome to our Explore Digital series. I would like to first start off by thanking our guest speakers for joining us, which I'll introduce in a short moment, as well as our audience who have been tuning in from 10 countries all across the ASEAN region. Some of you have been following the webinar series really closely, and I'm sure that you have been learning many exciting things as we go along. The Explore Digital webinar series, GDA, is implemented by the Asia Foundation with funding from Google.org, Google's philanthropic arm, and is endorsed by the ASEAN Coordinating Committee on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. In continuation of the successful first phase of Go Digital ASEAN 1, Go Digital ASEAN 2 aims to broaden digital participation across the region by providing advanced and fit-for-purpose training for up to 200,000 underserved MSMEs across ASEAN. The Explore Digital component of training gathers regional business owners and experts together in a speaker series format, featuring entrepreneurs and thought leaders from across ASEAN to share their expertise, success, and insights on regional trends for small businesses. Here's what you can expect to hear from today's webinar. Hear the inspiring stories of successful entrepreneurs and how digital skills and tools have impacted their journey, as well as connect to peer entrepreneurs not only within your home country, but also your neighboring ASEAN country. Now, for housekeeping matters before we begin. We encourage active participation throughout the session. So, if you have questions on anything that the guest speakers have said, you may write your questions in the Q&A box by clicking on the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen if you are tuning in through Zoom. However, if you are tuning in through YouTube, you may also write your questions on the YouTube comments, and we will try our best to answer your questions. Alright, use the chat box function as well, to share your thoughts, comments. If you hear a story today that resonates with you, or if you've learned something new today, let us know in the comments section. Alright, well, for some people who might not have anything to say, you might also want to express yourself with emojis. Now you can already see some of you sending emojis, so spam those emojis on Zoom and on LinkedIn and on YouTube. We want to hear from you. Alright, for participants in Indonesia, Cambodia and Thailand, you can also access the translation channels through the interpretation tab at the bottom of your screen in Zoom. Alright, stay tuned to the end of the webinar, and there will be a certificate of participation that will be given to participants who complete the post-webinar survey. Now, as a final reminder, this webinar may be recorded and distributed as part of the Go Digital ASEAN program. Now, I want to start by introducing to our audience today our three distinguished guest speakers. Now, starting with the ladies, we have Aline Martinez, the founder of My Catero, hailing from Philippines. Aline began her career in logistics and then started her own business, My Catero, to help MSMEs with global deliveries, leveraging her decades of experience in logistics. In her additional role as the founding president of the Asia Committee for Small Businesses Philippines, she also provides mentorship to MSMEs around entrepreneurship, marketing, and digital tools to grow their business. Aline, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, good morning. I'd like to thank Joash and team for inviting me to be with you this morning. Just a quick additional information. I've been in the logistics world for more than 2 decades. Don't ask my age. I have been mentoring 8 years, for 8 years and going strong with the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship and a coach with DTI. And I've also been very much involved with the Philippine Marketing Association, serving as one of their past presidents for 2 consecutive years. So I'm happy to be here, and I love to share what I know about digital tools and transforming businesses using these tools. Good morning, everyone.
Thank you, Aline. I'm sure we'll hear more from you later. Now moving on, Ambika Sanggaran, the COO of Mereka, coming from Malaysia. Now, Ambika designs, develops, and runs capacity development programs. America's digital training courses for MSMEs are designed to teach them to kickstart digitalization within their ventures and to leverage digital tools effectively. Apart from teaching digitalization, she also works with a team that employs various forms of communication, project management, and operational tools in their day-to-day business use. Ambika, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thanks, Josh, for a nice introduction. Yes, just like Josh mentioned, I will focus on developing capacity development training programs, mostly hybrid training programs, online courses, etc. But before I did that, before that, I did run an ethical fashion label. I also worked on sustainability campaigns, recycling campaign, focused on project management, also scaling of operations, etc. So you can also ask me questions on that goes along with those areas as well. Just wanted to share that, and I'm hoping to contribute to those discussions today.
Thank you, Ambika. I'm sure all of our participants are keen to hear from you as well. Last but not least, we have our gentleman on our panel, Mr. Nofi Bayu. He is the CEO of Commerce Indonesia. Nofi was born in a rural village in Purbalingga Regency, Central Java. He resigned from his career at the Indonesian Ministry of Finance and returned to his village to start a social movement, which then turned into the startup Commerce in 2020. He has empowered thousands of villagers through digital skills training and created many digital job opportunities for not only his clients, but also the youth in his village. Nofi, please.
Thanks, Josh, for nice introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Bayu from Purbalingga, Central Java, Indonesia. Currently, I'm the founder and CEO of Commerce. So, Commerce is a technology startup. The company aims to become end-to-end e-commerce enabler, helping Indonesian SMEs to digitalize and got the penetration better in internet, and also we help to connect with the best talent from rural and create job opportunity in the e-commerce space. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nofi. I'm sure many of our participants who come from rural areas in their countries will be very keen to hear from you as well. Now, I want to start the panel discussion by starting with a topic that is probably on most, if not all of our audience thoughts today. All of you tuning in right now have faced these challenges when starting your business, or will be facing these challenges. And as we have it, our three guest speakers today have worked together with MSMEs not only in their home countries but in regional areas as well. So I'm sure all our participants today are really excited about hearing your experiences. So without further ado, I want to ask the first question to the panel today. What are some operational challenges that MSMEs you have worked with face in running their own businesses while using new digital tools? Now, earlier we started with the lady, so I would like Nofi, perhaps you would like to kick us off with this.
Okay, thank you, Josh, for the questions. So, the day-to-day, I work with the SMEs, and in my opinion, or in my perspective, the problems or the challenges of the SMEs currently, especially in Indonesia. Indonesia have a lot of SMEs, 80 million of SMEs in Indonesia, and I think the most challenges is all of the technical or operation activity handled by themselves, starting with the production, and then packaging, and then marketing, and then handling the prospective buyers, shipping the package into the outlets, and etc. So they not necessarily have enough time to thinking about the most fundamental aspect in the business, which is to grow the business itself. So I think the challenges is how we can delegate to another people that have good capacity in the space, like what commerce do. And the second one is how the SMEs can leverage the digital tools that can be efficiently to operate each of process in the business flow, especially in digital space. Yeah.
Thank you, Nufi. So I really like your the second point that you brought, that you spoke about how can MSMEs leverage digital tools. And I'm sure, throughout our discussion today, we'll learn more about that as well. Right. Let's go next to Aline. Now, Aline, you mentioned earlier that you have more than 2 decades of experience in the logistics and supply chain sector before starting MyCatero. Now, MyCatero is specifically catered to MSMEs, and I'm sure you have heard a lot about the stories of the challenges, when building your business as well. Tell us, what kind of operational challenges have you seen in MSMEs when running their own businesses?
Okay. Just a quick overview of the Philippine setting. So for everyone outside of the Philippines, we do have more than 900,000 MSMEs in the Philippines scattered all over the islands. It makes up about 99.9% of businesses in the Philippines, and 25% of our export is actually coming from MSMEs. Now, going around, we have seen that, I have to add to Nofi that, one of the challenges that we see for MSMEs is how to move online. Now, being offline is already a challenge, but going online is another type of challenge for them. However, what I have seen is that there is so much opportunities when you go online. Just imagine 60% of global population is in Asia. And we have been thinking of being able to bring Asia to the world. No, it's high time for Asia to get that specific market in the world, and for our MSMEs to have a slice of the pie. However, logistics is another ball game for them. It's so difficult to understand. And going domestic and international distribution also entails high cost. So if you do not have that background or education in terms of logistics, it adds up to the challenges of MSMEs in growing their businesses. Just imagine not knowing, wanting to go borderless, but not knowing the distribution option is already quite a fit. Being online and getting inquiries for international distribution, but without the knowledge of opportunities to go online and knowing the distribution options, would also have loss of opportunities in terms of sales, right? So in the Philippines, the background that we have is basically leaning towards courier. And courier services for international distribution is very, very expensive. Knowing for a fact that the item in itself, no, the one that you're selling online, the cost would be much lower than the actual shipping cost. And if this happens, it basically lose the interest, of the buyers to get from you. Therefore, it is so imperative for MSMEs to really understand logistical requirements and opportunities, especially when they move from offline to online. They have to understand the various market options that they would like to access, especially in terms of shipping. They really have to understand it, be it international, domestic, for last mile, or even within their community. This is something that we really encourage our MSMEs to understand. It would be nice for our MSMEs to have a free trade within Asia. Let's say Philippines to Indonesia, Indonesia to Malaysia, free trade. And that would be something that we all are aspiring for.
Thank you so much, Aline. I love that you've pointed out there are so many opportunities. Opportunities are really boundless, for people living in Asia, and we need to seize that opportunity in order to, continue to grow and scale our businesses as well. Now, you've touched on a point that I really, really, really like. You said that one of the main challenges facing MSMEs is around financial challenges when it comes to import and export of their products and services. Now, I think, very soon we'll touch into what makes this so expensive and how do we help, MSMEs? How can MSMEs, lower the cost of these operational functions of their business in order to continue growing and scaling their business. Perfect. Next, let's move on to Ambika. Ambika, you said earlier that you design, develop, and run digital courses for MSMEs. So, I'm sure you're an expert on the types of challenges MSMEs face. Tell us, what kind of operational challenges have you seen when working together with MSMEs?
All right, let's start with this question. I do have 4 points here. So whenever MSMEs are choosing to get a digital tool or use a digital tool, that mostly happens when they are either starting a business or when they're trying to scale a business, right? So that means they're already running a business. All the work that's happening has to happen. All the client and customers still needs to be treated well. And then you are investing your time and energy on adapting something new, which is going to be additional cost, additional energy, etc., right? So the first issue that I usually see is that MSMEs spend too much on tools very early on. So when you have to pick a tool, you look for what is the best tool in the industry, which are the companies that are using it. So when we go by that tool may not be relevant to the use of our team, or maybe it is the best tool in the industry, but your team doesn't need it right now because there are different skills. There are tools for like a 10 people company. There are tools for 100 people company, 1,000 and 100,000 people, right? So we need to know what is the scope of work that we want to get it done and choose the tool that's needed. So when MSMEs already have limited budget, when they go and spend that limited budget in getting that one single tool, that kind of prevents growth further. And most of the time, these tools are part of an ecosystem. You cannot just get one tool and be done with it. Usually you need to get one tool, and then once you started implementing it, you'll realize, oh, I need another one, I need another one. So it's an ecosystem, right? So you have to be careful about it so that you have budget to get all the tools that you need within the ecosystem without spending that money in just one, right? So the second issue that I see is the teams, when they select the tool that they want to use, they force everybody to adopt it. Okay, from tomorrow on, we're going to get onto this and start using this tool immediately. First, the team may not be used to that tool, so there will be a learning curve. And when we force people to learn something, it doesn't happen very fast. So MSMEs need to give time for their team members to learn. And also, whenever we are implementing something, there will always be early adopters and there will be laggers. So you need to be very strategic. You need to get your early adopters who are so excited about tools to be part of the small testing, trialing team, and they adopt it, because the laggers will eventually get on board, but they want to see the proof because it's going to cost an additional work, right? Their time, etc. So they need to see that using this tool is going to give them better work processes or anything that needs to be beneficial, right? So you need to convince your team to adapt it, and then only you go to your customer, because your customer also need to adapt to the new tools that you want to implement, right? Yeah, and the third point I have, and the last point, is every tool has its limitations. So when you are adapting a tool, is 100% guaranteed you will face operational challenges because of that implementation of that tool. So you have to kind of prime your team to be ready. You don't know what issue is going to come up. They need to be aware to solve it whenever it happens. Your customers need to be okay with those disruptions. So maybe you want to test with a small group of people, etc. Right? So these are the major operational challenges that I see when MSMEs are trying to get into using a new digital tool while they're operating their business.
Thank you for that, Ambika. I really like what you said about being strategic in the tools that we use. Not every tool is a great tool, but not every great tool is a good fit for everyone. I think that's really important for MSMEs to realize, and and to take your point as well on leveraging on those early adopters, people who are excited about change, people who are excited about technology, to become the first starters of this, and then slowly gather the rest of the people to come on board with this digital tool as well. Thank you for that. I think we've heard many different types of challenges from that the guest speakers have seen while working together with MSMEs. And if for our audience, if you are there right now, if stories that the guest speakers have shared today resonate with you, feel free to go to the comment section, the chat box, and type in your thoughts as well. We would love to hear from you. All right. So I want to move on to now that we have understood your experience in working together with MSMEs. I'm sure you individuals have also faced similar challenges while starting out your business. And in your experience, what operational challenges have you personally encountered, and what are those specific digital tools that you have used that has helped you to address these challenges? Maybe we can start with Nofi again.
Okay, thanks Josh for the question. So I started in commerce for empowering rural youths in Indonesia. And what the activities that we starting is we train them with the digital skills. And then we connect to the SMEs, and then SMEs hiring remotely. But when we starting, we just starting with like 5 to 10 people, and then no digital tools that we use. So one thing that we learn is just do the operation and try the activities A to Z. And then we learned and evaluate what the activities, maybe like weekly or monthly, what the activities that time consuming, or what the repetitive activities that we can maximize with the digital tools to be efficient in terms of the times. So the tools that we start to use is just WhatsApp group. So when the alumni of the training, the youths connected to the SMEs and then hired by the SMEs, it's just like 5 to 10 SMEs hiring dedicated 5 also to 10 youths. So we just creating like a 10 group WhatsApp consists of each of the SMEs connected with the internal team of commerce and then the youths. So it tackles the communication between internal team commerce and then the youths and then the SMEs. Another case is when the youths working remotely, we must monitor the performance, the attendees, and etc. So we together renting some working space in the village, like a house, and then we bring together the youths in there. But the second challenge is how we can monitor the attendee. So the traditional operation is like they just write down in the books. They attend at like 8 a.m. and etc. It's very, very manual and traditional. Okay, so we're moving to using like a Google form. Okay, like a Google form. So if the youth attend the working space, they just filling the Google form, and then we can monitor in everywhere from the timestamp that collect into our database. Commerce has been growing from only like 5 talent and then thousands of talent, and then across in more than one cities in Central Java and Yogyakarta. We manage thousands of that. So we use the advanced technology. So we building the mobile application. Currently, the talent just using the camera on the mobile apps and using the GPS to collect their attendee on apps. Also, they just input the performance using the apps, and then the SMEs can monitor the performance, and then the attendee also to pay the monthly fees to the talent. So this is the journey. So we just learn what the repetitive or time consume that we face, and then we choose some medium digital tools that efficiently decrease the time consumed of that. Yeah, I think it's based on our experience. Thanks, Josh.
That's very interesting. What was your timeline on this entire implementation process? Because I think many of our participants might think it's an overnight thing, but it's rarely the case, right? So what kind of timeline were you looking at to start it, and then to reach your full adoption, so to say?
Yeah, I think we can use like agile methodology. Yeah, so we can use like a weekly meeting with our internal team or employee to evaluate what repetitive activities, and then we test the new method, or we trial the digital tools that we can use in the several weeks, and then we're doing a monthly evaluation. Is it effective or not, and etc. So if we well growing into like maybe 100 or 1,000 employee or users, maybe we start to think about building the application, because building the application is high cost and also time consume and need a lot of resources.
Understand. Bika, I think you touched a little bit about what Nofi said earlier on, experimenting and to full adoption. Anything to add on this?
No lah, I don't think so right now. Yeah.
All right. How about Aline? Aline, I think you're on mute. I can't.
Sorry. Just to make it clear, number one, I'm not an IT person, but I love technology. Okay, just like any other MSMEs, I love whatever is new that technology has to offer. Either that's phone, mobile, or whatever. But I am not a programmer, so being able to spot the challenges that our MSMEs are facing, and I know that I have a solution. So this dream of coming up with a booking platform, transforming a very traditional industry to a digital one is not a walk in the park, as you've said. It took us more than 3 years. It's a living organism. So number one is that the challenge that we face is, how do we bring this huge dream of transforming a very traditional business into digital? That was the first challenge. And I really have to look for people who can make this dream come true. So I had to, not just people, we went through an experience, times when the trusted IT guy who would bring the programming to life, suddenly gone walkabout. He went missing at the time that it's so crucial for us. So that was one. And, we had to make a decision whether it's going to be a web-based or if it's an application. Good thing that I have mentor friends who guided me through the cost of building a web app versus web-based system versus an application, which is very, very expensive to do. And you'd get buried with a lot of applications being released in the market. So every 6 months, there is a new app that will be released. So just being able to identify that in the beginning helped us a lot. Now, we are also very, very conscious of what we need to see. So when we were creating the booking platforms, and I had to be the architect and guide the IT programmers, I had to ensure that there is a dashboard for us to be able to monitor each customer, the booking, what service that they would be using. And I have to say, in the first 3 years of our existence, we were a living platform. We keep on updating, we keep on innovating. We started with one service. Now we have 3 service levels, mainly because during the time of pandemic, we saw that there was a need to pivot, no, from international. For the time being, we had to cater to the local last mile delivery and help our clients deliver the vitamins and the important items that needs to be developed. Therefore, it was like a moving thing for us. And then, what do I have? We wanted to create something that is affordable, trackable, and a door-to-door service that would be very transparent to the users. And it's one of the things that, it was very challenging because we had to create a lot of API integrations. Believe you me, Joash, Nofi, and Ambika, this was like I was bleeding all over just to understand the terminologies. So don't worry, everyone listening here. I started from like, I don't understand this. But moving forward, really, we kind of used the Google as one of the tools that digital tools that's readily available. We used so many items there, Google Analytics and all of those stuff, that until today I'm trying to learn how to use. We leveraged on whatever social media platform there is available, and which is basically majority used by our target market. So these are Instagram, these are Facebook, and we have Viber, we have WhatsApp, just like Nofi, to be able to reach the people in terms of communication and all of those stuff. Then pandemic came. We used Zoom. Now until now we're still using, and this is not just for customers in terms of presentation. We have embraced hybrid, and as we are growing, we have seen that there is a need for how do we communicate easily with customers, how do we monitor customer movement, how do we see this, and these are all addressable by a CRM tool. So just to understand, having a growing customer base of more than 2,500, it is horrendous for a very small company to really handle all of these customers. So we really needed some tools to guide us in terms of communicating and assisting our customer and understanding their journey wherever they are in our client journey. There was an instance in during the pandemic or early post-pandemic time that we were accepting cash on delivery, so cash on pickup. So every time that there was a booking on that time, we were accepting payments by cash. However, we have experienced something. We've experienced losses because how do you call it? Is theft. We experienced that. Therefore, because of that experiences, we've lost a lot of money. We had to adopt immediately payment gateways. So we had to put it into the system now that payment is there. We don't accept COD or so that is one of the tools that is continuously happening and what we're doing, and we see this because the cart conversion for our customer is getting high, the booking is getting high, the delivery in terms of the items that they are sending gets through. So basically, it's very visible to the clients and real-time tracking is accurate. So we're able to realize that what the dream is something that is answering the need of our customers.
Okay. I think, Aline, there were so many important points that I picked out from, just a few minutes of what you were saying. So, I really like that you said that you had no background whatsoever in technology, and it was through the constant process of learning, a continuous learning. Not just back then when you started, but up to now as well, constantly learning about what the new technology is, and using bringing back a no face point as well, using technologies that are familiar to our customers. And a point about that is really understanding your customers' needs, right? Studying their needs and understanding their needs in order to use technology that is familiar to them. I think there's a question that is from the Q&A as well, and this was a question that was asked via YouTube. So when do we tell when to start using digital tools and solution? Is there a specific sign that we need to look out for? Perhaps maybe Ambika, you'd like to take this.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of signs because tools are supportive, right? So we do not need to get a tool just for the sake of we want to have digital tools. It always need to serve a purpose. So when you are facing a challenge, whatever challenge, right, from customer side, from operational side, then tools can be a solution. So I would say only when you face a problem, then you can think about like, okay, what would be the tool that would solve this particular problem? And then you could probably anticipate what are the other problems that you might face, and then make sure the tool that you are getting solves those problems too. So you kind of like have kill what, two birds in one stone kind of situation that would help you. Yeah.
All right, and earlier you mentioned as well, Ambika, that that Mareka also deploys various types of tools. What were your operational challenges that you went through in order to get to where you are today?
Okay, Eileen also spoke a little bit about like the pandemic, right? So for us, a lot of big changes happened during the pandemic. Before that, we're a training provider, so we would run physical training program. We'll travel across the country and we'll run, okay, get a venue, bring people in, run those kind of trainings, right? And then pandemic happened, everybody needs to be at home, but those programs still needs to go on. And our clients were very supportive and moving all those programs into virtual training programs. That is wonderful. But then my team that hasn't done any virtual programs need to immediately learn how to run virtual programs, and all these tools and ecosystems need to be built, right? So this is where I think we operate with Google. So like Google also, Google Workspace kind of helped us, especially I really like the in real-time collaboration tools and also communication that helps. For example, whenever running trainings program, before that we need to develop training materials, right? So we use Google Docs and Google Sheets and slides in order to prepare these materials. When we prepare, we can also share it with our participants immediately. At the same time, we can also send it to our clients before in order to get all these review processes go through as well. So besides Google, we also use Slack in order to facilitate communication between our various different teams. So training development is only one team in Mareka, right? We also currently building a digital platform. So there is another team working on it. And then we have our HQ team, and then we have our on-ground physical space. We run a maker space as well here in Kuala Lumpur. So all these different teams do work together. And our team, since the pandemic, we also started operating remotely. So we do have people that are working from different countries as well. So in order to make sure to allow collaboration across different time zones, we need a communications tool. So then we use Slack, and then we used to use Airtable for database management, which also helps to customize a lot of different customize the platform in order to meet our own needs. And then lastly, of course, Zoom, which helps us to have meetings with all our team members, clients, and etc. Right? So this is basically the ecosystem that we have within our company.
Okay, that's really interesting, Ambika. You mentioned so many types of digital tools like Slack, Zoom, Google Workspace. Are they free for people to use?
Okay, so all of these tools do have free trials, right? So you can always start free, and then if you have to purchase, you can purchase them.
Okay, all right. So, back to your point on experimenting on the different types of digital tools, and then, once you find your niche in a specific tool, then you might have to pay a little bit for it.
Yeah, like today I mentioned that we are using Slack, but before we arrive at Slack, we went through at least 5 to 8 different tools, right?
Wow.
So it took years to arrive at this as well. So keep trying, and your needs, your business needs, your customers needs, your team needs will evolve over time. Then the tool that works today may not work tomorrow. So
Yeah.
we plan for all these
Agree.
things,
I agree.
right?
I agree to that, Joash. Actually, I experienced trying to look for the right digital tool, especially for communication with the customers. And I've experienced spending so much for tools that I don't need. I have to learn it the hard way, so it's very costly.
Now that you've learned it the hard way, maybe our participants can learn it the easy way without spending so much.
That's correct.
Cool. On your point as well, which brings me nicely to my next point. There was a question from the Q&A box that, asked, how do we know when to start using these tools, and how do we know what tools to select? So I think, we've somewhat answered that question a little, but, I just want to touch on that a little bit more because I think we have a lot to expand around this. Maybe Nofi, do you want to kick us off with, there's so many tools out there, that Ambika has said, Aline has said as well. You have mentioned, WhatsApp, Instagram, things like that. How does one, select the best tool to suit their needs and goals?
Okay, so because the most attendee in here is SMEs or young entrepreneur, I think the tools that may be very beneficial for the attendees is the tools that can leverage or increase the income of the SMEs. So we're starting with the customer acquisitions. So maybe when the SMEs starting initially with just themselves to seeking for the new customers for acquisition to purchase the products. So the operation maybe it's like the promotion media. So a lot of SMEs thinking about for promotions. They need to create website. So when they just have done to create website, and then the sales or the revenue will increase. This is the real in the grassroots that we must solve together. So I think for the SMEs, the beneficial tools that we will concern first is in the stage of promotion or looking for the customer for acquisition. So a lot of tools growing currently, and like that most SMEs in commerce community also using some of those that have another strategy to reach out the customers. But I think one tools currently that has rising up is WhatsApp. So through the promotion with Facebook, Facebook is one of the promotion that SMEs not need to prepare website. The SMEs can starting to create a Facebook page. When we create a Facebook page, the SMEs can advertise the business or the products, and then with this new improvement through Facebook, the advertising can go directly to WhatsApp. Okay, so that with the digital tools like this, advertising through Facebook sponsored can be more larger reach of the impression of the prospective buyers. Okay, that is the first advantage. And then the second one, the SMEs need not to prepare any website. They just look on the content, which is like images or videos. This era is very visual. Video is a game changer to tell the story of the product, problem, solution that a consumer willing to buy of the product. I think a lot of content in the website can be simplified, convert into the videos. Okay, and then with the videos, and then the prospective buyer clicks go into the WhatsApp. So I think the first operation activity may be in a promotion stage. SMEs can start from there, and then after the promotion stage, they starting to handling the prospective buyers, maybe through WhatsApp, and then the prospective buyers need to deep dive into a lot of explanation, maybe arrange for meeting using Zoom or Google Meet, and then deal sales, yeah, manage shipment using a streamlined process of shipping or packaging, etc., etc., etc. But maybe we starting with the fundamentals first to increase the revenue or the welfare of the SMEs. That's based on my experience. Yeah.
Thanks, Nofi. I think you summarized it really well, and I like how structured you are, starting from the promotion to the buyers to the deal closing, which is really insightful. Now, before I go on to more questions from our Q&A chat, all right, I would like to remind everyone to complete the post-webinar survey. So there will be a link that is sent to the chat, both on YouTube as well as on Zoom. So please feel free to click on that link and fill up the post-webinar survey. All right. Now, I want to ask more questions because I see that there are a lot of interesting questions that we have in the Q&A box, and I'm sure our guest speakers are also really excited to share some of their thoughts. Now, Arlene, one question specifically for you. What tools can we use to streamline logistics? You seem to be on mute again, Arlene.
Sorry. There's so many things out there that's coming up to help actually our MSMEs to streamline their logistics. It's different per country. And in the Philippines, what we have developed, of course, is a platform that would help them with an affordable door-to-door delivery and trackable. Of course, you can see a lot of them coming out for last mile delivery. You have Gojek, you have J&T, you have all of this for last mile delivery. But what MSME needs is that a platform that would allow them to do cross-border international and be able to have options of distribution, either that's postal or courier. And that is something that we're delighted to have been able to curate a solution for that through the platform mycartero.com. Now, of course, things would be happening in different countries with different solutions and in different niche, because there would be providers that would be very focused for cargos, no, that would be sent via sea freight, and you're talking about full container load, loose cargo, and that would be something that you have to understand. And there are companies focused on that. There are also companies focused on air freight solutions on cargo, and that would be talking about a direct flight from Manila, let's say, to the US, especially for those selling in Amazon that has to have their warehousing done in Amazon. So there are companies out there. I know there's one in Indonesia, there's one in the Philippines, and there's one in Malaysia. But you have to identify them, who they are. But in the Philippines, we have, of course, we have our platform for for lighter weights, for e-packets, 2 kilos and below. So if you're sending, let's say, more focused on 2 kilos and below samples, food stuff, any documents that need to be sent out, anything that you're selling online that's below $100 that can be sent, in full compliance to customs border regulations and things like that. Now, Joash, I wanted to just add to the answer of Nofi earlier.
Please
When
go
is the
ahead.
right time? I think the right time, everybody has to adapt to the digitalization world. If you have your online presence as a person in WhatsApp, in Facebook, in whatever social media, your business has to be Googleable. It has to have the same presence offline and online, whether you're selling online immediately or not. And it is one of the things that we've been pushing for our MSMEs. You have to be Googleable. If tourists are looking for the best, let's say the best crispy pata or the best chicken in wherever they are, they have to be able to find you. What is good about our digital natives is that wherever they are in the world, the first thing that they do is Google. Where is the best like this? Where is the best hotel? Where is the best tourist spot in Indonesia, let's say in Yogyakarta or in Kuala Lumpur? So people will always look at Google to find available services or products. And therefore, as MSMEs, the first thing that we have to take note of, as what Nofi said, you have to be searchable. No, not on prints, but on digital. So that is something that we always push our people to be. Be there where the digital people are, because as of now, we can see that digital natives are becoming more than 50% of the global population, and that is something that we have to understand. So I think, that is just an add-on to what Nofi said earlier. And I
Yeah,
hope
no,
I
thanks
answered
for
your
that, Aline.
question, Joash.
Thanks for that, Aline. I really appreciate it. And perhaps, Nofi could jump in on the point on streamlining logistics as well, because I think he has some experience on that. But before I go into that, maybe, Aline, you mentioned about it's so important to be Googleable, right? What steps can MSMEs take to be Googleable?
Well, definitely, you have to be where the people are. So Google, you have to write your company in Google. You have to add, just put, I don't know how I did it, I forgot already. When I was learning about it, I just had to ensure that I will be in Google Maps at the time. So put your data information of your company, the services, what time you're open, where you're located, etc., and the services. So you just go to Google Maps, and then I did that. We had to ensure that we had presence in the social media platforms where our target markets are. Facebook, Instagram, and it's not just being present there. You have to be active to engage your target market. You have to sell your services, or not really sell, advertise and market your services and products on these platforms where you are. And of course, another thing is, of course, the website for us. It's a mandatory. So we had to create our own website and domain. We have to get that to ensure that, we are able to pull in the traffic. The next challenge is getting all the conversations and being able to see it and answer them on time. That is one of the challenge of a growing business online, being able to capture all those engagements and be able to reply back to the customers on time.
Thank you for that, Aline. No, anything to add on that?
Okay. For streamline process of the shipping, we also have product that are similar with Arlene, but in Indonesia. So we partner and do memorandum of understanding to connect technology each other with the big shipping company in Indonesia, like JNA, Cepat, ID Express, and others. And with this application or technology, the SM is just registered in our platform, homeship.id. Okay, and then when they register in our platform, homeship.id, the SM is just input the customer data, and then the pick up point that they will be picked up, maybe in their houses or their warehouses. So they not need to moving away into the shipping outlets, etc., with no minimum quantity. Okay, and then when they just input all the orders, they can choose the periods of shipping option or shipping courier, and then they can monitor all of the activity, and we bring more efficiency starting with the 25%. So the difference is between the SM is using directly to the shipping outlet, compare with core solution homeship.id, the SMEs will get minimum 25% of shipping cost efficiency per package. I just add the answer of the streamline process of the shipping, and it's coverage all in Indonesia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. You know, sometimes when I order food online, the delivery fee is more expensive than the order itself. You know, so it's always important to lower, you know, the cost for your customers so that, you know, they'll be more engaged with your business. Now, I want to touch on a question. We have quite a few questions on upskilling, especially. You know, I think that's not something that we have touched on yet, so I would be keen to go into that. And this is really a question for everyone on the guest on a panel. So, you know, one of the questions that was asked is how do you upskill your people, right? And is there a budget to upskill people? Do you prefer, you know, e-learning platforms or more conventional kind of classes? I'm sure, you know, Ambika will have a lot to say on that. So, you know, let's start with Ambika.
Yeah. When we are thinking of upskilling, if it is a particular skill that we want to learn, then should pursue courses, right? That would help to understand, learn things from A to Z, etc. But if we want to upskill to learn to use a digital tool, I don't think you need to go get into a course, because all these digital platforms have a lot of free resources out there. Either each resource, for example, Canva have a design school, right? So every single platform would have resources once you purchase or before you purchase, how you can use these tools. So use those free resources. Second, a lot of people do tutorials on YouTube as well, either produced by the company itself or produced by a third party, right? But all these people, all these resources helps you to learn these tools very, very fast. And this is something you can do before you purchase too. When you are comparing between tools, go on to YouTube or any other resource and see which company or which tool provider gives you 24/7 support, which tool provider gives you additional resources that you get easy for you to learn, and then look at like who has the most YouTube resources that you can, other people are talking about it. So all those kind of upskilling you can do when it comes to particularly about digital tools. Yeah.
Thanks, Ambika. So I think the question right now is, you know, do I go online to learn how to use these tools, or, you know, is the class better? So I think, you know, you answered this by saying it depends, all right? What you know, digital skill you want to learn. You know, if possible, you know, if it's something that you can learn online and it's free, go for it. You know, if not, that's something that you might want to consider for a conventional class as well, right? So This is now a question to Nofi and Aline, similarly on the topic of upskilling. Are you personally, focused on e-learning platforms or sending people to training providers for physical on-site training?
Me or Arlene? Arlene, start with.
Both of you.
Okay. Okay. Maybe starting from me, I am the leaders in commerce, the CEO of commerce. So I think the first thing is how we can mapping the problems of the team. So I think not focusing on the what course that beneficial or solve for our employee or our team problems, but how we can mapping or evaluate the root cause of the problems in our company. If we can resolve it by the resource in the team, like managers or our leadership, I think it's the first solution to solve that. In commerce, we aims to become facilitative leaders as a coach, not like a mentor or trainers, but as a coach. We may be not knowing technically in deep, but we can learn and unlock the potential of the employee of the team. Especially for the learning platform, I think it's sweet and fit with the basic knowledge of the employee. Maybe like entry level of the employee going into our company, and then we think and evaluate in the first month they need to upskill with the basic knowledge of the something like product management when their role is a product manager. We find that they not match with the curriculum vitae and the realization, and then we think that they need to upskill. But when we just coach, they just like path to solve the problems. But when they need technical skill, we just moving into the source that focus on the technical solving with their technical problems. Okay. So I think, it depends on the problems in our teams. Yeah, maybe that's from my experience. Thank you, Jess.
I have to agree with Nofi. Even in logistics, it's very important that we upskill our people, especially during the times that there's so many changes in customs border regulations, in transportation and air freight and sea freight. There's so many things happening, and we have to be able to catch and be updated all the time. Now, for us here in the Philippines, one of our really our target and our vision and a mission is really to help MSMEs help navigate through exporting and be able to be their shipping specialist, so they can take care of their product development, they can take care of their packaging, marketing, but allow us to take care of the logistics so we can help them ease the burden in terms of customs compliance and finding the right fit for their products to be distributed either nationwide or globally. So becoming a specialist, a shipping specialist, would entail a lot of training. It's difficult from understanding the basic air cargo to dangerous goods, understanding the processes of airlines, and of course the sea freight is all different from postal and courier. Therefore, it is an imperative action for us to keep on upskilling, especially when digitalization is something that everybody needs to embrace. It's a technology, it's a new system that we have to implement. Therefore, all of us in the business had to understand how it works, the dynamics, so that we will be able to easily cascade the information to our target customers and for them to be able to have a seamless transition from going traditional to digital. We wanted to be a compass for the customers in terms of their guide, how to best ship out or distribute their products. So in different departments, whatever the training there may be available, be it face-to-face, hybrid, or online, we make it a point to encourage our team members to attend. If ever they need that particular session or upskilling, especially when you talk about social media marketing. So that's something new for everybody to understand. And there's always something new that's happening. And for us to be able to adapt to it, we have to keep on upskilling our team members. We do believe in upskilling and providing with our teams with the necessary tools, knowledge for us to be able to grow as a company and assist MSMEs to grow as well.
Thank you for that, Aline. I think, all three of you spoke about the importance of upskilling, and this is something that is really important in this digital age that we are in right now. With technologies changing so rapidly, we will need to continuously upskill ourselves as well as our employees in order to continue growing our businesses. Appreciate that, Aline. Now, there was a question that was asked twice actually, so I really appreciate the participants' excitement on this. I want to quickly pivot now to his or her question. So, how do we use digital when we are opening a sales business for the first time and we do not have any close friends? So I think, to answer this question, maybe it doesn't have to be a sales business, but any type of business, right? How do you use digital if you don't have any close friends? So, earlier, you mentioned, I think some of you mentioned that, you had mentors, you had, people that you've worked with in the past. But if an MSME, does not have access to these, resources, how else do you think they can use digital? I'll leave the floor open to anyone who might want to.
If I may, Ambika and Nofi, I just wanted to share a piece of my thought. One of the things that we have learned for SMEs, and we keep on teaching them, is that when you're trying to develop a new product or service, you have to be able to have that branding and differentiation. What sets you apart? That's one thing that is important. You just don't copy a business model, a product, because it's doing good in the country where you are. You have to be able to have an innovation in that product or in that service. You have to be able to complete the branding and differentiation so that when you go out in the market, be it you don't have a friend, or you don't have someone who would initially buy it, or you don't have mentor, but if you're able to do that branding and differentiation and highlight your unique selling proposition in platforms that you will be able to identify where your target market is, then it would be good. As long as you're able to communicate the services and the product innovation that you're bringing and what sets you apart from your competitors is something that would make customers interested to just, let's say, try out your service or product and eventually become users and your advocates. So I believe in that. Marketing is one of the things that MSMEs need to understand when they're creating a product, innovating a product or service, and before going out to the market. They have to understand, how do you call that, the environment that they are in and the target market that they would want to service.
If I may add, sorry. Two things. One is, I think this is where digital platforms makes everything equal for a lot of people, right? So you don't necessarily need to have friends. As long as you can build digital presence. These days is as simple as just like going on Instagram Live or TikTok Live or all these different tools out there, right? So create an account and start posting about it. So so that way you will create awareness regarding your product. So you do not need to have existing customer pool in order to start selling. The only thing is if you have an existing customer pool of friends, then they will be able to test things out for you and give you feedback, right? And you have to make sure they're not giving you feedback because you're their friend, but give you their honest feedback as a customer. So initially, if let's say people around you are not your customers, or maybe they are not going to purchase it, you can always give things for free because trials are usually free. You just want to get feedback, right? So once you go through those processes, then you can just go on social media. And I have a friend that if she thinks of a business, she just goes on, post it. And if anybody buys, then there's a demand and she goes on with the business. If nobody buys, then move on, try to sell the next thing, right? So it's as simple as that. The second thing is, which I've forgotten now. Maybe Novi first and then I'll come back.
All right, all right. We'll let Nofi speak while you regather your thoughts. Nofi,
Yeah.
anything from you?
Yeah, the friends not mean the sales. Because maybe when the friends reference or the friends buy our product or services, maybe it's like not valid with our product or businesses. So the digital tools that we start to learn or to use is how we can larger the impression of our products. Yeah, starting with the social media, because you just need your phone and the best camera and take videos consistently with that topics, and the algorithm of the social media will enlarge your impression in that specific topic. When you focus in the cooking services, for example, and in Instagram, you just focus to upload the content consistently with that topics and provide the call to action when the consumer interested and buy your services. Yeah, I think just like that. When another people that not know about you and they interested, they purchase your product or services, they valid that your product visibly and useful for another consumer, solving their problems. Yeah, I think from you.
I understand. Thank you, Nofi. Now, in the interest of time as well, because we are wrapping up pretty soon, I would just like to give our guest speakers about 30 seconds to do one final key takeaway for our audience today. Maybe Aline, you would like to start?
Knowing the problem is solving the problem half. It's a problem half solved. So for any MSMEs out there, you have to understand what are your concerns and challenges in running or scaling up your business and trying to find the right digital tool that you will need. It's so good that there are platforms like this that would allow you to learn from other MSMEs so that it will not be as expensive as what we have gone through. And just be there and explore these digital tools readily available for you to grow your businesses in your country or cross over to other countries.
Thank you, Aline. Ambika?
Yeah, I
30
think
seconds.
my second point, so I'll do that. And so
Yeah.
two things now. First, as entrepreneurs or business people, we cannot be shy, right? So, and if you don't have friends, you have to go make friends, because we always have to just find the next person, new people, and etc. So approach people, and that's how they will eventually become your customers, right? So build your network. Second thing is about digital tools. This is a tip. If it is too expensive, write to them and ask for discounts. A lot of companies actually do give discounts. Big
I love
discounts.
that.
So write to them.
Thank you, Ambika. Nofi?
From me, for the attendees, SMEs here, too much information will kill you. Yeah, so beware with the lot of information and digital tools. Just focus in your operation. What the operation that time consume and disrupt your operation, and not focus into the fundamental to growing the businesses. Starting with the digital tools that increase the efficiency in your operation.
Thank you all so much for your thoughts today, and I'm sure on behalf of the participants, we all appreciate the three guest speakers, your thoughts and your insights into digitalization for MSMEs. All right. I would like to right now close the webinar with a link to a post-digital survey. So on the screen that you'll see right in front of you, there is a link that will link you to the post-webinar survey. All right, so if you click the link in the chat box, you'll be able to fill out a short survey, and thereafter you'll be able to receive a certificate of completion. Other than that as well, you may also visit the resources tab in order to download information about our guest speakers, as well as more information about the Asia Foundation's programs. All right, so please click the link and fill in the webinar form feedback. We would love to hear from you and your thoughts about why you think this webinar is good. If there is any new topics that you would like to learn, we would love to hear from you as well. All right. Last but not least, for our next webinar will be held on 21st May. All right, and it will be on the topic of championing sustainability through digital innovation. All right, so stay tuned to sign up and register for free for this webinar. All right, thank you all for attending the webinar and your active participation throughout, and we wish you a very good day and week ahead. Thank you.